Okay, I am going to do a demonstration on how to use the Staged Blueprint Planning mod created by Glassworks. This is, as the description says, the ultimate mod for designing staged blueprints. It is fairly commonly used among speedrunners in the Factorio community, but it is not exclusively for speedrunners. Anyone can use this, and I'll hopefully show you why. So let's make a new game. And the only mods I have in play... Oh, what is this? Oh, I've got to beat the game. Huh, interesting. Okay, so the very first thing that happens when you sign in, or when you start a new game, is you have to change your settings. I thought I did all this. That's strange. Whatever. So I'm in the editor. Wait, what? Oh, I'm in the tutorial. Okay, let's try free play instead. Okay, that's better. Same deal. Let's get into the editor. And well, actually, we don't need to do that just yet. Okay, we're in a normal game. There's biters. I have changed nothing, but there's this icon up here to access the stage blueprints and your various stages. And the first time you click it, it says it's meant to be used in a sandbox or an editor, especially in a separate planning save. And we can switch to the editor to enable this mod. So clicking this will turn the editor on, and it asks us if we want to have all the text research. Why not? Let's do that. And we can make a new project here, which I'll do. The very first thing you see is a project that has no name, and it has 3 stages in it. Stage 1, 2, and 3. Okay, well, what's all this then? What do these things do? Wait, what does rebuild? What? This is all nonsense. All right. So I'm going to explain all that. I have a rough plan, and I don't really have a script per se, but I did make some notes of stuff I wanted to cover. So one question, why would you want to be using this sort of thing? And hopefully that becomes clear through the examples that I create. But in general, it lets you create blueprints that hide stuff that you don't need to focus on now. If you don't need to build it now, or you don't want construction bots to build it now, why have it in your blueprint, right? Take it out. It also lets you plan for things like assemblers, belts, inserters to be upgraded later on when you have those techs available or have resources to do that sort of thing. It also lets you prioritize how construction bonds build stuff. And finally, it lets you change the entity configuration in various stages throughout your blueprints, which seems like I'm defining the thing with itself, but it'll make sense later on. Okay, so I showed what happens the very first time you load it, and let's talk about how to use it. So this mod comes with a bunch of extra stuff in it. These commands: cleanup tool, stage move tool, filtered stage move tool, stage deconstruction, copy with staged info, cut with stage info, and force delete. I'm going to tidy up my bar here. And we'll put some of this stuff on the hotbar. And that's all I got, which is fine for now. Okay, so we have these stages here. Let's set up the character real quick. And I'm just going to go ahead and give myself a bunch of stuff that I can use to make stuff. Some power poles, some chests, some assemblers, some other assemblers, some red belt maybe, this stuff, maybe some red chests, some roboports, those are always fun. I don't know if I'm going to use those, but we'll give myself some cheaty stuff now, like infinity chests, some electric interfaces. These are editor specific stuff if you haven't seen them before, and some infinity pipes. Okay, let's make something. Set up the hopper. I didn't give myself inserters. What a goof. Okay, let's put these on the bar and start making stuff. Okay, and let's start time because it looks weird with everything stopped, right? Okay. And we're gonna put some iron on this. And we're going to put some copper on this one. We'll worry about that later. Okay, Derek. Yes, I plan to highlight this. Okay, let's make some green circuits. Oops. Hit Alt mode. And they need copper cables. And we're going to have all the green circuits go out that way. And we're going to have red inserters taken from there. We're going to have yellow inserters, put them out. And we're going to power it. And we're going to have that. And let's give ourselves some power. Cool. These want copper, so let's give these some copper. Okay, let's say it's the beginning of the game, and we're going to make these go away. We're just going to void them into nothing. If you've never seen that before, you sort of want to go like that, right? But they don't go in. very confusing at first. But the way these loaders work, you gotta make it come away from the chest and then go into the chest by rotating it. And then remove everything not in it. But we'll leave the copper there for now. Okay? So we're making green circuits. Hooray! But it's not very efficient. These starve and want for copper cables. This isn't quick enough. Okay? But it's the beginning of the game. We don't have that. Now let's say... Oh, my sister's texting me. Let's say you've researched assembler 2s and you want to use them here. You could have another stage. So the next stage of your base, if you will, immediately there's a stage for that. And now you've noticed that I changed the stage and the stuff is already here. I built it here, but it's already in stage 2 and it's also in stage 3. But I don't want this here. Wait, why can't I delete this? I don't want this here anymore. This is stupid. Why can't I make this go away? Well, you can't do that for a specific reason. The behind the scenes reason is it's indestructible. You can't do that. It's also not mineable. Okay. But the mod has made it so. Because this first appears in stage 1, as you can see. Which means that if you want to change it, you've got to come here and change it. We can pull it up, we can put it back, and all that stuff. But here, we want to change it. But why can't I put an assembler 2 down? Well, you can upgrade it like this. And you'll note that it's got these squares around it now, this green sort of bounding square. That indicates that it was changed in this stage, okay? And we'll go to stage 3, and we see that it's an assembler 2 here. We come back to stage 1, still assembler 1s. Okay. But the other problem is it's still not fast enough. They're still wanting for this copper cables. Wait, hold on. Let's get rid of our inserter capacity bonus. Then now we'll see it really struggle for copper cables, as these are only capable of moving 1 at a time now. Even with assembler 2s, making them much faster. And we can see here that the output's full, it's just not fast enough. So we need to upgrade those as well. Again, can't do that. But we can certainly upgrade them, and you only need to upgrade 2 of them, because the yellow ones will help. But now we see these should run fully without any problems. We'll have problems outputting, but we can fix that too. And now they'll run full time, just like that. Let's give this a name. We'll call this making green circuits. But there's no stage 3. This is it. So delete this, and everything from here gets put into stage 2, and that's totally fine. This rebuilds this stage. Don't worry about that. And now we have what looks like a good set of blueprints. So let's make them. And now we come into where the mod really shines. So we can make a blueprint book by clicking this button, and it gives us the blueprint. Inside here is 2 stages, stage 1 and stage 2. And we can put it down and see that it's exactly what we expect to see. So how you would use this is come in here, export it to a string, copy it to a different instance of Factorio maybe, or turn the mod off and put this into your blueprint library, and you're good to go. But let's try something a little more complex. Let's make a new project, and we'll delete the stages here this time, and we'll build up. And as before, let's just put these on the little hotbar. They're going to come in handy. Let's make some stuff. It's like make a little mall. We're going to have iron here. We're going to have gears here. We're going to have green circuits here. Okay. We're going to make some inserters, some blue inserters, some red inserters, some belt, oops, some underground belts and some normal belts. And I'm just going to be really easy about this. We're not going to worry about the ratios too much. Put those there for now. But doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, same deal here. These need to come into a box. All powered, cool. And these need those. Only need those. These need those. These need that. Okay. So we have our mall. Oops, let's put a chest output for that. And this will make stuff. It's not fancy, but it gets the job done. And let's think about how we might want to change this going forward. So this could be the basis of our mall. Let's actually add some pipes on this side, some underground pipes, maybe some steam engines. So we'll want power later on, right? And some boilers. We'll make some underground pipes, those. And we're just gonna feed in some steam. There's some stone furnaces here because we don't want to worry about that just now, right? Okay, we have our mall. Hooray, isn't it lovely? But we can't just knead all of our stuff into inserters and splitters and underground belts. We have no belt. Where's our belt? We need belt. All right, furnace inserter, thank you. Second time today that's been a problem. So we need to put some sort of limits on here. So let's make one stack of those. Let's make maybe 2,000 belts and maybe just 2 stacks of those, 1 stack of red, 1 stack of blues, and let's say 10 stacks of yellow inserters. Same deal for pipes. We use pipes everywhere, so let's do that. But underground pipes are really expensive, just 1 of those. Same as steam engines. So 10 of those, and maybe boilers, we'll just do 1, right? But it's not very fast. Let's fix that. And we'll name the stage and make a new one. And we're going to upgrade some of these to assembler 2s. We saw previously that we can do this with the upgrade planner. So we'll upgrade that one here, here. Those are the important things, right? That's what we really want. But you might think, well, our needs have changed. So we need fewer steam engines. We only need like 2 stacks. We don't need as many pipes. We need like 8 stacks. But we do need a lot of underground pipes. So we'll go with 5 stacks. And we don't actually need any boilers. So we'll just shut off this chest. Same for here, that's all good. We need a lot of blue inserters. Let's say 5 stacks, why not? Red inserters, let's say 5 stacks again. Underground belts, that can stay, and that can stay. Okay. So we've upgraded some of this with assembler 2s, and in our very first mob, we still see it's assembler 1s. But we have these green things here. Reminds you of the upgrade planner, doesn't it? That's to tell you that this change is in a later stage. It sort of pairs with this, right? Yeah, you know how my internet is. So this will end up on YouTube because my ISP sucks. And I'm dropping all kinds of frames on Twitch because of my crappy ISP. But, you know, I make do with what I can. Sorry. And getting back to it, we now have some of this. But let's say we're later in the game and we need more. We actually need more iron, so let's upgrade this. Can I even do that? No, okay. Time to show you something else. The Staged Deconstruct tool. So let's give this a name. And we're not going to make any steam engines anymore. Going to get rid of it. Not going to make any boilers either. Just clear those inserters. But we want to put something else here. Maybe we want to put chem plants here. But how do we do that? We can't delete this stuff. We've seen that before. Can't delete it. But what we can do is use this stage deconstructing tool to remove the stuff that we don't want in the stage anymore, or any stage thereafter. So we'll go back to the previous stage, and it's here. But in this stage, in the next stage, and the one after that, it's all gone. Let's clean that up. Some chem plants here. And we're going to put it like this, just to show that it can be at any angle. Make plastic here. Let's actually use some of these, eh? And we'll use our handy infinity pipe here. And another chest for coal, because we somehow got coal up here. And we'll just make some coal. Now you as the player, what'll happen is, let's make a blueprint book with this stuff in it and take a look inside. So in the very first one, it bears a striking resemblance to our very first mall, because it is reasonable. The next one looks like this, where we've upgraded some stuff to assembler 2s. And finally, to make plastic, we have our chem plant in here making plastic for us. Now you as a player, you have built all of this. You have to come in as you're playing and deconstruct these all by hand, so that when you're ready to paste this blueprint, the blueprint ghost will be visible. Now you may have noticed something else here. This stuff. This blue stuff on the map. This is an indication that there's something here in a later stage. Right? So you can see that under these two assemblers is a big old footprint of something. You can't really click on it because of the way the game works, but you can scroll through your stages to find where that shows up. Neat, it's here. This doesn't show up in the game at all. This is only for planning purposes. But that sort of introduces the question, what happens if I'm planning and I forget? I want to put green circuits here. Well, this little icon is going to show me that that's going to be a problem. There's something here. And we'll come into this stage and see the offending object is this pictogram. You don't need to deconstruct it by hand. You can use the deconstruct planner in game and have the bots do it for you. So you only need to cause it to be deconstructed, you know what I mean? Whether that's using bots, having a teammate do it, or doing it yourself with your steel axe or your normal pickaxe. So the build we dragged on this stage doesn't work. Just didn't work. Because this pipe is here, it's in the way. Okay, which tells us we need to fix it. Won't work. But we can use an underground belt to span it. And now that works fine. Alternatively, what you can do is go to this stage, the make plastic stage, and just drag it. And let the game smart belt for you and make the decision for you. What'll happen is we'll come back to this stage and see, oh, here's this stuff that's letting us know that there's something here. Except this color means it's in a later stage. This one means it's... Wait, what's the difference here? I forget what the difference is in the coloring. But in any event, we want this belt to appear in this stage. And we can use the stage move tool to do that. And the way this works is you pick it up from the hotbar here, and with your mouse and scroll wheel on the mouse and the keyboard. Yes, you need to initiate the initial deconstruct for this stuff. What you can do is change which stage it goes to, right? And the way I'm doing this is holding the shift key and scrolling with the mouse wheel, which also zooms in and out. You can probably change it in your settings if you want. So let's do this. So it's hard to see, whoops, it's hard to see but you can see that the entities that are first in this stage, which looks like at the top left of this little box is 6 belts, 2 undergrounds, the pipe, and the infinity pipe, want to get moved to stage 2. And that's it. That you just drag it like that. But we don't want the pipe. We just want the belt segments. And we'll go back here, and they're here. This has another interesting mode. Well, 2 interesting modes. You could undo that. So let's go to stage 2 and undo. And undo this segment too. It supports undo. That's really cool. And the other way that you can move stuff between stages is again with your mouse. You draw a bounding box, except this time hold down the right mouse button. You'll see that the box around this is blue. If you're colorblind, I'm really sorry. And this pulls to the current stage. So all of these entities are made in this make plastic stage, but we want them here. So we drag, and we drag. This has no effect if you drag it on something that was already here. So we'll go to make plastic. It's highlighting it, but it's not pulling it to the stage because it's already here. All right. Okay, let me see. So I used a couple shortcuts, and I've explained a couple shortcuts. The first one was using the shift and mouse wheel to change which stage you're sending something to with the move stage tool, or the stage move tool. The other one that I used instinctively is to change stages. You don't have to click. It gets tedious, especially if you're sort of doing blueprint surgery, if you will. What you could do is hold the control key, mouse wheel. Mouse wheel up to go up, mouse wheel down to go down. And you can change these in these controls all the way down to the bottom for stage blueprint planning. If you would like them to be something else. Another extremely useful shortcut is, let's say you have 20 stages, really complex base, multiple stages with sub-stages maybe, and you want to find the very first stage something appears in. Like you could come here and scroll and see where it first appears. Like for this pipe, let's say you're here and you keep scrolling and scrolling. Oh, it's in this stage. There's another way to do it. So let's go back to this very first stage. I'm going to hold down Control and Alt and middle click my mouse button. Whoops, that's not right. Right. Wait, hold on. How does this work? Shoot. Wait, hold on. It's, oh, for crying out loud. It's one of those things where it's just so natural to me that I do it and don't think about it. But the second I have to explain it, I can't see what it is. Move, go to, oh, it's Control middle click, sorry. So you hold down Control and middle click and it jumps right to the first stage. Another way to do this is to click the preview thingy or thing itself, and you'll see over here in the stage info that it tells you the first stage. And if we go here, click on it, click it, we've moved to this very first stage. And I'll show some other places that this stage info shows up. So in our very first one here, we set a limit on this chest of 1 stack. But when we upgraded it in this stage, we changed it to 5 stacks, right? And that shows up here. updated settings bar. The bar refers to this thing. Maybe. And we can, let me move this over. And we can remove this change if we don't want it anymore. Or we can send it to the previous stage if we want to do that. Maybe we change it here as well to only 3 stacks. And we can see how that changes. So the very first stage, 1 stack, 5 stacks, 3 stacks. And we can change, we can say, you know what, I want this to be in the previous stage, and just click this button and now go here, and it's now 3 stacks instead of 5. I don't think you can undo that though. Oh, that's what's throwing me off. I don't need this alt mode. Should have something else. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's force delete. I don't know. So that's this, and we can of course change it back if we wanted to. But this has a side effect, because in this stage, when I move this change to the previous stage, this make plastic stage lost all knowledge that it used to be where the limit of 3 came first. So you have to set that back. Other interesting things is that when you upgrade or change the, what do we call this? The assembler type? The ranking? I don't know what it's called. That is reflected here as the name setting having changed. So if we click this, we would expect it to, in this stage and every stage afterwards, become an assembler 1. And we click it, and it does. But let's upgrade that again, because it's nice having that as an assembler 2. So maybe once we upgrade this, we realize, oh, these inserters aren't fast enough, so let's add a couple more, just to help keep up with the throughput for the assembler 2 being a bit faster. We'll come here to stage 1 and see they're not here, and this power pole's not here either, but it appears here in stage 2 and still here in stage 3, just as we would expect. What you can also do with this is use splitters. This is one instance where you need to use the stage deconstruct. Of course, if you want to do this. Even then, you probably just want to put this in the first stage, so let's just move it to the first stage. Oh, you can't. Why? What's here? Oh no, what did I do? I made a mistake. Because this belt is still here. Oh, wait, I'm trying to go to the first stage of this entity, because I know it's a splitter, but I can't, because it's all kind of whack. But there's a way to do this. What I did is I used this cleanup tool. This had the effect of forcing the mod to update that even though I deleted this belt here and placed a splitter here, that's illegal in this stage and this stage because there's a belt here. The same as it was true over here with this pipe, the same it was true here with the belt. But I go here to the first stage and I go, oh, okay, I'm going to delete the belt. But the splitter doesn't appear. This makes it so, the cleanup tool makes it so it is recalculated at the very first stage. It should appear, and Bob's your uncle shows up. let's make another stage. Give this a name. Making some gears. Let's have them over here. That's better. Maybe just 2 for now. We don't know what we'll need. We can always add more. And we'll put them onto a belt. And side load them with the gears, just because. Hello. We're not getting a lot of iron here. And if I need this belt to be full, that could be a problem. So when I'm making my gears, what if I did this? I want this output to be to the left here, so that this gets the priority now. I want my gears, once my gears have backed up, the rest of the mall can have what it needs. Maybe these gears go to make engines for science, right? Or they make some other building, like chem plants maybe, who knows? And that's more important than the mall, because science is important. And we'll note that this has that something's changed thing around it, just like it did in the other stages when we saw this. And we'll come here to the first stage and see again, input, output, priorities are right, but in this stage it's changed to output left, input right. Well, that's kind of cool. So you can also change the settings on splitters. Okay. So you might be pretty pedantic like me and go, that's wasted iron right there. See that? That's wasted. That bothers me. Does it bother anyone else? Just me? Just building something. Just something to show off what the mod can do. So let's set a filter here and make sure it's on this side, so that we don't waste any iron. We're very stingy. We'll come through our stages here and it's still a gun. We can unset that and get our normal iron to the left. And we see that the filter changed in this stage. And we could change that if we wanted. We could also say input priority, maybe also from the left. Maybe we have it as a source of other iron here that we want to use up first. And that'll show that the input priority changed, the filter changed, and we have this new thing here, all. Okay, that's interesting. So what this does is it moves all changes, or removes all of the changes made here. It's just a quicker way of going click, click, click on all of these things if you wanted them up at the first stage or previous stage. Let's see, what else is on my list to show? Ah, yes. So there's a fairly important setting here in the mod if you want to design a power plant, which is what? Oh, here it is. Wait, what? Oh no, can I not do that? Hold on. Okay. We have to turn this on. Place offshore pumps anywhere. We're going to turn that on. And we're also going to allow landfill to be placed outside of water and confirm that restart the game because that has to happen for some reason. And we'll talk about building a power plant. I don't know what changed there, but sure, whatever. Okay, we're back in. And now I can place an offshore pump. No, why can't I place it here? What? No, no, no. Oh, okay, fine. We'll do it again. Anywhere. Okay. Maybe that... Oh, sure. Well, today I learned. And we're just going to load it this time, and now I can place offshore pumps anywhere. And with that, we're going to make a brand new stage. We call it the power plant. Get rid of these stages. And let's talk about landfill. And we don't need to make a lot of water, although we could make a lot of water. Don't need to make a lot of water and manually come in here, make lots of landfill, and do all of this. We don't need to do any of that. The mod lets you do this, and it'll take care of the rest with what I'll show you. Oh, lucky guess. Okay, so now we can place this anywhere. Let's put some pipes on our hopper now. Some boilers, some steam engines, and add those to our list. Okay. In the blueprints, there is an option to automatically set landfill tiles before taking a blueprint. And we can also use the next stage's tile to do that. We're going to turn those on. Then we're going to make another stage. I don't know why that's there. But let's get rid of it. Oh. Interesting. Sure, whatever. It can hang out there for now. Wait, hold on. What? Glass, what are you doing? What? Whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's continue. We'll put this on and we'll come back. We'll do this here. Need pipes. 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 And maybe some pumps too, why not? I know this isn't the most optimal power plant configuration, but work with me here. No, let's go this way. And then use that. 3, let's make some fuel belts. Oh, that probably has to be red. Well, we'll make it red just for the sake of not having to worry about throughput. And we'll make some burner inserters for fun. And we'll put a bunch of solid fuel on here. Okay. Give it a little power to jumpstart this, that's funny. Wire to offset. Oh, so the power poles can go by. Saves on pipes. You could do it like this. Nothing wrong with this strategy. This strategy is just fewer pipes. Also, I ran those out of power. Isn't that cute? Let's just feed them some. No, I guess my pace wasn't so good with the inserters. Whatever, it's fine. They'll live. We all get the idea anyways. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't optimal. It's sort of the cheesy way to do it, but you know, it works. So I'm gonna hide this now. I figure everyone figured out with the arrows too, it just makes it smaller. We don't need to see everything all at once. Actually, we do now. Good job, me. Okay, let's make a blueprint book and see what we see. Remember, in this stage, just the pumps. In this stage, power plant. Make a blueprint book. Let's have a look. Well, isn't that a lot of landfill? So what this option has done is place landfill under everything in this stage and the next stage. This is all landfill. This brown stuff. Oh yeah, burner inserters can run out of fuel, which is hilarious because their whole shtick is that you use them when you don't want to run out of fuel. Go figure. But in this blueprint, we're looking at all of the landfill that's required to build this. So if you're building a power plant, and some of this might be on water, or all of it on water, before you come along and build your boilers, your steam engines, and all this jazz, you need to have the landfill done. Otherwise, if you stamp this as a blueprint, thunk, with the landfill under it, you're going to have to wait for bots to place all of the landfill or for yourself to place the landfill, and then keep stamping incrementally so the ghosts appear on the landfill as it's built. Won't be a problem in 2.0 because we will finally be able to blueprint entities on water. For some mods, I believe this isn't super relevant, but for vanilla play, this is pretty cool. Also notably, it puts landfill under the, gives you the landfill nub in here for the offshore pumps to latch onto, which is pretty neat. And we'll look at the blueprint book again and see that in this stage as well, there's the landfill. I think that's really cool. So C-block players may be interested in that if you have another landfill tile type here, like dirt or sand or whatever, you can set this here and it should allow you to use that as your quote-unquote landfill tile. I just use landfill and C-block when I play, so might work, might not work. Okay, let's have a look. Okay. Let's take a look at circuits. Yes, exactly. It would be nice to also blueprint without having to scaffold everything in space. Very true. Okay, let's look at some circuits. We're gonna actually just use our blueprint book here. We'll look at that in a second. Don't worry about what that says or might say. Oh, actually, wrong one. Here's the model one. Wonderful. Let's stamp this one. Let's say instead we didn't want to limit anything based on with the bar here. We wanted to use circuits instead. Let's give myself some wire. Some red and green wire. Again, apologies if you're colorblind. I'll use a wire, doesn't matter what kind, to connect the inserter to the blue inserter, outsider to the chest. And we'll make a condition on it that says only output if there are 50 or fewer than 50 inserters, blue inserters in the chest. We'll do the same for the yellow inserters. However, we'll say if there's less than 500. Again, same for red inserters, just less than 50. Same for belt and so on. Now, that's cool. What if we want to change it? We can do the same thing. In the condition, we'll say, well, we'll make a new stage. We'll say for the blue inserters, we want it less than 250. For red inserters, we want 100. And for normal inserters, we want 1,000. Just to mix it up. And we'll even upgrade the assembler. Why not? So we'll click on the outsider and see that the control behavior has changed. Stage 1, 50, where it first begins. Stage 2, still here. Okay. Now, how about in stage 1, we again limit splitters and underground belts based on the output chest. In stage 2, we decide, let's use circuits, why not? Totally valid to do, so we'll unbound both of those chests and hook up a wire to the from the belt chest feeding underground belts to the output belt of underground belts into the chest. Hope that makes sense. And we're only going to take belts to make underground belts if we have more than 100 in the chest. One at least stuff for us to pick up. And same story for splitters. Only take, well, only output if there's more than 100. So they'll load up and fill their internal buffers and then stop outputting, and we'll see our belt buffers accumulating. Cool beans. We'll upgrade this assembler too. Well, let's go back to stage 1 and see what we see. So in stage 1, for our inserter set, we see the wire connected from the chest to the inserter, just as before. However, for the underground belts and splitters, we see a wire connected from the chest to the inserter, but it doesn't appear there. I added that wire in stage 2, not stage 1. So why is it in stage 1? This is a quirk of Factorio. It's evidently difficult to do this in any other way. The wires will appear for your circuits in the earliest possible stage. However, we'll have a look at the outsider for underground belts and see that it has no conditions, no nothing. It doesn't do anything. It's decorative, you could say. So don't worry about it. Just be aware that the belts will appear connected in the first stage, and they will gain their circuitry conditions in the stage where it becomes relevant. That's one thing that got me. I mean, it's not really a problem for that to happen, it's just something that you should be aware of, because it can throw you off if you're not expecting it. Let's see. I've shown landfill, the auto landfill, cleaning up stuff, deleting from future stages. Let's explore the UI a little bit. Let's say we have a bunch of stages and we want to make a blueprint book. We can do that. Easy, not a problem. Here's our blueprint book, all of our stages, but it's kind of a mess, isn't it? What if I want stages to be arranged in a specific configuration in the blueprint book? Well, we can do that. In the mod exporting thing, you can edit the book template and move these around wherever you want, which is pretty cool. You can have gaps if you want. We'll make the book and we'll compare it. So this is the second one that we just made with the template, and this is the first one without the template. So why would you want a space here? Well, let's say you have something here to remind you to deconstruct the red inserters, the belt, and the assemblers for the mall, and you want to put that here so you remember to do it, so that you can make plastic. So as you're playing, you're scrolling through your blueprints and you see the deconstruct thing on your cursor, and blammo, it reminds you, oh right, I need to deconstruct something before I stamp the next stage so I can make plastic. Or if you're speedrunning, you might have more power plant in here or something else. Very handy to have this blueprint template. Other things to take note of. You can add icons to the resulting blueprints, and by default, well, first it's time to introduce the difference between settings default and settings current stage. And to do that, we need another project. And I guess before, we'll delete the stages that we don't want. Start with stage 1. And we're going to call it 1-1. If you watch 100% speed runs, this may seem familiar. And we'll find our first mall blueprint, paste it in, make another one, make another stage. The mod will automatically call it 1-2. It will detect any number at the end of the stage name and then add 1 to that for your new stage. That's how that works. And in here, we're going to learn what that message was that I told everyone not to worry about. And we're going to go into the settings, the mod settings, and allow blueprint paste to upgrade entities. We're going to turn that on. And we'll read the tooltip. For example, if pasting a blueprint with a fast inserter over a normal inserter, this will upgrade the inserter. This is different from vanilla behavior. This setting only applies while within a staged project. Okay, save that. And now we'll paste the next stage of our mall, which has our upgraded assemblers in them. And we'll hold Shift and force it, and we'll see the note here. Note, some entities were upgraded. The upgrade on blueprint paste user setting is enabled, and we'll take a look at the console to see what it complained about before. Earlier, it said, warning, Pasting from the blueprint library into a staged blueprint project may cause issues. To fix, make a copy of the blueprint and paste again using the copy. What that means is, if you have a blueprint book in your library, like that, and paste from the library, it won't upgrade the entities in the project. What it wants you to do is make a copy of it, put it in your inventory, and then paste from that copy in your inventory. It's a little confusing, but that's one thing to keep in mind. And for plastic, we're going to call this stage 2-1. And we're going to remember that we need to force delete stuff. Or sorry, we're stage deconstruct. That's what I meant to say. Get rid of this and this and this. Pick that up. And what's the book look like? Is that enough? Yeah, that's enough. So we'll paste it in and start making some plastic. Now what's interesting here is I imported a blueprint book and I had to stage delete the stuff that wasn't supposed to be there, because the blueprint book that you're pasting from has no idea that it's not supposed to be there, right? So we'll look at the blueprint again. Stage 2, mixer, boilers, and steam engines. Stage 3, that stuff is gone, replaced with making some plastic. Nothing in the game's blueprints know anything about deconstructing to make room. That's up to you. That holds true even when you're importing blueprints. Say, for example, you're taking a speedrunner's blueprints from a staged thing and making your own copy. You need to be aware of everything that's been deleted within each stage so that you do that while you're importing. Otherwise, you're going to get problems. We're going to try and overstamp stage making plastic. Doesn't work. Clearly, it doesn't work. And in fact, we're putting boilers into our plastic chest. Imagine that this, that was never there, that's just there for testing. Imagine we took plastic out this way, somewhere else in our base. Oh, we've got boilers there. Panic. Mass panic. Alright? But we know better, so we'll delete it. Oh right, this is the first stage. And we'll put down our plastic again, and I'll show you how to make pretty icons. Okay, so for stage 1, we want our icon to be maybe 1, 1. For stage 2, we want it to be 1, 2. For stage 2, 1, we want it to be 2, 1. Sorry, Gopher, don't do what? Gopher asked in chat, don't do that? Question mark? We'll catch up again. Okay, let's export this new blueprint book and see what it looks like. So, that didn't go quite so well. This 1, 1 is all ones. 1, 2 is 1, 2, 1, 2. 2, 1 is 2, 1, 2, 1. I wonder if that's a bug. Oh, wait, hold on. There's this add numbers from stage, name 2 icons. let's get rid of that. Try again. That's new behavior. And now we see them perfectly named, perfectly iconed for us. But I don't want to have to do that for every stage. Like, what if we had 20 stages here? I don't have to turn this off for all of them. Let's reset this. Oops. And do it in a single place. In the defaults. Defaults is for every stage. And we'll come back over to the settings for this current stage. And when we last left it, this add numbers from stage name to icons was checked, and it's no longer checked because we turned it off globally in the defaults. And Gopher clarifies, don't replace machines with other machines. Correct. You can design your blueprints to not replace machines with other machines. But sometimes you need to. Sometimes it's unavoidable. And if you do that, you need to be careful. Or it could be a chest, right? It could be that you decided to output some number of steam engines into a chest that you deconstruct and then go off to build power. And when you do that, you don't want it to reappear in your blueprints. That's normal. Okay, so let's again revisit our settings and defaults and whatnot. Because there's one other thing that we can do. Well, two other things that we can do. Grid settings. You can make the blueprint snap to a grid. Let's make it 4 by 4. Oops, put that back on. And we'll do this the easy way by shift dragging the flag. If you know, you know. And what this is going to do is center the blueprint here. We'll actually make it a little larger, a little bigger in each stage. So we'll make another book. I'm just going to clean up my books. Delete that and make a blueprint book. And we'll have a look at this now. As I paste this, well, as I drag it around, you see that it is acting as if it's snapping to a grid. That's right, it's snapping to a grid. We'll go to the next stage and we'll see that it's still centered in the same area. Same with this one. Now, if we build more stuff, we'll call this 2-2, and we'll build more stuff over here. Maybe we'll make some signs here or something. Let's have some sense of aesthetics, and we'll fix the icons. Oops. And make another blueprint book. And we'll see what happens. So if I'm pasting this from the map, it would be really hard to paste on the exact tile. But if I make a grid, it's much easier. It snaps to it. There's less chance that you can stamp it wrong. There's a benefit to that. Because if I do more stuff, then we'll just stamp this here. Actually, let's add a radar real quick, or make another stage, or make another project. Make a radar, just so we can see what's going on from the map. And delete stages. We'll stamp here. Stamp there. Stamp there. Stamp there. I didn't move my mouse at all. And it stayed centered in the same spot. Very useful. Very, very useful. Oops. Ooh, all right. And what's also interesting is that you're not limited to numbers here in the icons. You can add circuits, you can add anything that you can add in the signal. Like for a circuit, you can add here. And one final thing, you'll note that my blueprints have infinity chests in it, electric energy interfaces in it. Well, you can't use those in a speedrun. That would, well, you can't construct them, so why have them in your blueprints? So let us prevent them from showing up in our blueprints entirely by adding them to the blueprint filters deny list and make a blueprint for this. Just this first stage is fine, and we'll have a look at it and we'll see infinity chests are gone, the energy interface is gone. Cool. We're ready to hook up our iron here, our gears here, and our green circuits here. There's also a way to only include entities that have changed in the last some number of sets or stages, and I'll show you what that looks like and how that can be useful. So this one. Yeah, okay. And we'll go back to our testing area, clear out the other stuff, and try it again with the new book. It's this one, okay. From map view again. Well, let's zoom in. Paste stage 2, and only the stuff that changed is here now. These chests are here because the limits changed, remember? The assembler 2s are there because they were changed to assembler 2s. And let's paste our plastic in and our science. It maintained the offset or the centering square. This can be helpful for people who want to use very, very large blueprints that cause significant UPS drops. If you only include what's changed, your blueprints are much smaller. It's just science. That can be problematic because let's say that you're doing this from map view. Okay, from map view this time. We'll add some power there just because, okay. And you want to add the second one. So when I'm stamping here, it's easy to see that it lines up because there's a belt there, right? There's the energy interface at the bottom and all that stuff. However, without it, it's hard to line up, right? There's nothing in common anymore. So you're sort of kind of winging it. I prefer not to play that way. But once you find the spot, you're good. Now my understanding is that you can change this and always include like belts, for example. Hold on, wait, not here. Different one. So we'll include everything, or we'll only include stuff that's changed or belts forever. And we'll make a blueprint book and try this. Is it this one? Yes, okay. Get it to map view, paste it. And my belts are here now, so I can always align. I like to use those as my alignment thing. There's belts here, even though they weren't added here. The only thing added here, remember, is the plastic stuff. And we align it. Then our science extension has the belts. So this could be an effective way to help manage UPS. What else is on my list? There are some things that you can do with module preloading that I'm not going to get into. To me, that's a little bit sketchy. Oh yes, one thing to keep in mind is that if you have a very complicated blueprint with many stages, and this could be 100,000 entities or whatever, if you have that times 12, because you have 12 stages or 20 stages, that's a lot of drain on your system. And you will run into a problem unless you include an electric energy interface in each stage. For some weird reason, it has to do with how unconnected power grids work or don't work, as the case may be. So put one in each stage, even if you don't connect anything to it, like any inputs to the base. Additionally, if you have lots of stages, then you only want one stage to work. Like let's say we have a stage here called testing. In every other stage, we can disable every entity. And you'll notice that all the inserters stopped immediately. That one stopped mid-swing. Do that here as well. This stage, then this stage, and only leave it on in the last testing stage. This will help with UPS quite a lot as well. The thing I would recommend is giving a nice label to this testing stage. In your book, we'll have that in there. And your test stage, if you're moving this to a different instance, delete it, then export. Let's see. Let's talk mods. What are the mods? So the planning mod works with some other mods. One of the very helpful ones is picker dollies, which lets you move entities around without deconstructing them. So to do that, I'm going to leave my mouse cursor over this power pole, hold down shift and hit the right arrow key, and it moves it around. And we'll go to an earlier thing here, and we'll move this power pole up, and we'll see in each stage it's also moved. Very extremely helpful, especially if you're dealing with a rat's nest of combinators with very complex circuitry on them. Like, for example, in this circuit mall, it could be that you need to move this for some reason, or this inserter. Now, you could have changed this condition in every stage, every single stage. Imagine if you deconstructed this and had to go back and do that all by hand. But what you can do is go to the first stage, move stuff around, just keep it kind of just hanging out there, and move it somewhere else. Like, let's say, for example, you no longer want to do that. You change your design some, and you're going to have it here instead. And this is going to put belts here, and you'll just take from that. That's a way to do that. That I found very useful with the picker dollies. In C block specifically, here I'll load up my C block planning instance. Bear with me. Is this the correct one? I haven't loaded this in quite a while, so bear with me and please don't judge my designs. Well, not too much, unless you find them really cool, in which case, carry on. Oh, well, there's one other thing to show that I'll show in this instance. Loading, please wait. Golly. There it goes. Holy moly, that took forever. And we'll not bother updating for now. No, it's touching other people. Other people. I guess this is a large planning save. Oh, is this even the right one? Cool. Yeah, that's annoying. This isn't even the right one, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be the correct one. Okay, so C block. If you're overwhelmed, that's kind of the point. In C block, you can have valves, like overflow valves, top-up valves. They work the way you wish pipes worked in vanilla. So let's make a storage tank. Let's make a valve. I can never find these damn things. There they are. Okay, overflow valve. So we built an overflow valve. And we'll pull some pipes away from this storage tank. And we're in the wrong stage. Move this up one. Okay, now we're in the bot stage. Doesn't exist here. Okay. Why did I have two? What? Oh God, what was I thinking? Anyways, let's say you don't want this to be a overflow valve in this stage here. You can't change it. You can't upgrade it. I think you can upgrade it. Oh, you can. Okay, that's cool. So in the game, you have to do this upgrade on your own. So this is how the game can work with other mods, or how the mod can work with other stuff. And I'll show you one. Oh, I already showed that, didn't I? No, there's one other thing to show with circuits. Okay. So we'll have a circuit that needs to be in this stage. Connect this to a power pole. Have a condition on it. They don't need to make sense. Here, we'll change it. And we'll change it again here. Okay, so this inserter has been changed a bunch of times. This stage, and this stage. and I want to get rid of it. So we'll go to the first stage it appears in, where you should be deleting your stuff from, and deconstruct it. Okay, what happened? There's still a thing here, and when I go to a different stage and control middle click, which takes me to the stage that first appears, there is an inserted here. I can't deconstruct it. It's not going. What the hell? That's because there were inserter or circuit conditions on this thing, and the mod is holding on to that. Right, you can see it here. What you want to do here is cleanup tool will get rid of this, just as it did before with the splitter. Okay. Or if you delete something that way, you can force delete it there too, or use the cleanup tool. So when you have stuff like that, that's a way to get rid of it. And there's also a thing with trains, I think, that the similar way. Where are my rails? Trains act weird in this mod. Okay, don't worry about it. The information on the mod page talks about trains. Trains appear in the first stage that you build them and are marked for deletion after that. So in this stage where it appears, we'll move everything to this stage, why not? And we can't, because the locomotive was marked for deletion. And you'll see here that it's complaining. So let's go fix that. We'll cancel the deconstruction and reset the train, but it's still freaky. What's going on? Let's try the cleanup tool. No? Reconstruct it. I will say, in the mod's defense, this is quite an old version of the mod, so this may be behavior that's changed, but trains do act different. The main thing I wanted to show is that they're marked for deconstruction afterwards. And that's to save your bacon. There's nothing worse than stamping a blueprint that has a train in it when the train that's supposed to be there isn't there in the same exact position, but on the way, and you end up with a monster train which has a locomotive in it and other stuff that's not supposed to be there. It's the worst. Trains are kind of magic with this mod. I try not to mess with them too much. I don't really move them around very much. And I believe that's everything that I had to say about that. Yeah. So I'm going to put this up on YouTube and highlight this. If you have any questions or comments about how to use this that I can answer, leave a comment. If you have a question for, one last thing. The person who wrote this mod, it's not me. I didn't write this. I don't want to be taking credit for something I didn't do. This is not my work. Well, this video is my work. The mod is not my work. The person who made the mod is called Glassbricks. He is a speedrunner and mod maker. This mod specifically, I believe. I don't know if he's done other ones. No, he has, but nothing serious. And he has a Ko-fi or Ko-fi link up. If you find this mod useful and you want to buy him a coffee or whatever, you're free to do that. And you can find that linked on the mod portal. So if you find a bug with it, you can let Glassbricks know. You can find a link to the GitHub page in the mod portal as well. Here, it's Glassbricks. I'm not Glassbricks. And with that, I think that is the end of this video.